Marvelous. Now, let's set it aside so we have a next dish for you. What I'm going to prepare now is a matter of, first of all, telling you that squid are all right to clean. This is the finished product. Yes, these are all cleaned up. Let me show you some that haven't been cleaned, and I want to show you how it's done. A squid is a very strange-looking creature. He swims in the sea backwards. That is to say, this is the tail of the fish, and this is the head. You see, here's his eyes and the tentacles. But when he swims, he goes through the water this way. He goes through the water backwards. Very strange creature. He's one of those guys who always knows where he's been. You remember that old joke? Here's how you clean him. Grab the body of the fish, pull on the head, and the innards will come out completely, you see? Now reach inside, and there's a cuttle bone inside. Look at this. Look at this. Looks like a piece of plastic. Isn't that amazing? And then you squeeze the fish and take out the gelatin that's inside, and sometimes ink will come out. You see? Look at the ink that's in this. You know, he squirts ink about when he's frightened or worried, and certainly he's a frightening creature in his own right. He's very ugly. But squid are only ugly to us. To other squid, they're gorgeous. So don't worry about it. Let me cut some up now for you for some deep-fried squid. Check my oil here. I don't want that to be too hot. Oh, and it certainly is. Let's move it off. We're going to deep fry the squid. Very simple method, very old, very Greek. And I have a bowl of squid here that I've already prepared and cleaned. And we'll cut the squid into that one's been torn. Let's not use him. He looks a little strange here. I want you to see the whole thing from scratch. We'll use there we are. You see, you cut the body, which is a big tube, into circles. You see? You have little donuts. And they cook up beautifully. Squid is just terrific. For heaven's sakes, if there's someone who tells you that they will not eat squid, just tell them they're missing out on a marvelous food product. This poor fellow was slit in his side, you notice, and he's not coming out in perfect circles, but the next one will be. It was an awfully big one, too. Isn't it amazing how big? These things will grow up to be 40 feet long. Can you imagine running around in your fishing boat and bumping into a squid that's 40 feet long? Shades of Captain Ahab. There we go. I think that's enough. Let's flour these. I'm not going to do a thing to them except flour them and throw them into hot fat. And then we'll be ready to lay out a Greek feast that you wouldn't believe. Get a platter here for these. Just dip them in flour. Yes, I know there are lots of batters you can use. There's a marvelous Japanese tempura batter. That would be good too. Look at the ink. Look at the ink that's come off in my hands from the squid. Isn't that amazing? It's a very dark ink, and it will actually color the water around the squid, and the baddies can't find him. Isn't that a kick? My son used to do that with his bedroom. When he was very tight, he would turn off the light, and he figured I couldn't find him. He caught on in a hurry. All right, let's check the oil again, and we want the oil at about 375 degrees. Not much hotter, not much cooler, so that this will work properly. And we'll flour our squid circles, squid donuts, squid, whatever you want to call them, thusly. Just put a few in the flour here and haul them out one by one. You don't want them to be over floured. But if you use batters, very often you'll toughen the squid because it takes so long for the batter to cook. I had a friend years ago when I was a college chaplain who used to come over to my house with big bags of squid and beg me to cook them. And he would invite all of his friends. He was a dear friend. I miss the guy terribly. And he used to bring over the squid, and then we would toss the squid in egg and farina. You know, cream of wheat, farina. That's another old method of cooking squid, but it was much crunchier, much heavier batter. I don't really like it as well as this plain Greek method of using nothing but flour. That's certainly enough for a beginning batch, huh? That enough for us? Let's start with that. And enjoy cooking with deep fat. You don't have to buy a big deep fat fryer. That's not a necessity at all. I rarely cook in deep fat because I don't want my family to be burdened with that much heavy oil or fat in their system, you see. So when I do deep fry, I always use peanut oil. It's much more easily digested and it doesn't burn at high temperatures. So here we go. Let's get it cracking here. And we're going to deep fry squid, Greek style. See, I have a basket in there, and we'll just throw them in. Try and throw them in one at a time so that they don't stick together. And of course, the oil temperature will fall right away when you do this, but that's all right. It'll catch up again. I'm watching my temperature rather closely. I don't want it to fall too low. Let's see how they look here. Shake them about a bit so that, oh, they're perfect. They're perfect. I'd better set up a platter here right away for them. Look at the mess I'm making. Isn't this a kick? What I'm going to do is to pour them out on a pile of paper towels. Then I'll remove the paper towel and let the squid circles center around my scorthalia. I think I'm closer. And a little garnish and we'll be all set. Just takes a minute to cook. Yeah, they're just about done. Okay. In Greece, you know what they do with squid? Another great dish. I'll have to show you one. Let me find a whole one here. They will take the tentacles, the head that we had, chop it up, and mix it with rice, and then stuff it inside this tube, you see? So that pretty soon you have a tube stuffed, oh, a little dill and lemon, by the way. And you have this tube stuffed. It's a great, it looks like a great big cannelloni, except that it's made from fish. And then the whole thing is cooked in lemon juice and a little bit of tomato. Good Lord. There's a place in Vancouver, British Columbia called Paspero's Taverna. I dare you to go eat there. Marvelous, marvelous stuffed squid, Greek style. They don't do much of that here in Chicago, and we don't do it in Seattle. I haven't seen it in San Francisco, but in Vancouver, British Columbia, it's simply murder. Okay, here we go. I get my plate over here, and we're going to shake the excess fat off of our deep-fried squid Greek style. Marvelous to make. Rather easy, as you can see. The batter wasn't complicated. And I'll get that off the paper now. There we go. I just wanted to absorb what loose fat came off, but peanut oil doesn't do much of that. You really don't have to worry about it. It doesn't hold much fat. There. I'm sorry. You'll just have to wait a second here. I bet that's too hot to even try. Let me see. Hold on. Let me see what's going to happen here. Ouch. Oh, it's hot. I salute myself. This is absolutely superb. You've got to make this dish. Have you got it? Cut the squid into little circles after you've cleaned it, and then dredge it in flour, and then deep fry it. And the scorthalia is made of bread, garlic, a bit of olive oil, a whole cup of olive oil, 10 slices of bread, half a cup of white vinegar. You don't need wine vinegar. Entire head of garlic. Let that sit for an hour. Then whip it to death. Add a couple tablespoons of fresh lemon juice and a couple tablespoons of water. And you're all set. Now, I'm all set. What I want to do is to set up a table for you. There's no way in the world I can get all of this stuff on my one counter. So let me show you what I'm going to do for a Greek party.